Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and here we are doing the extraction step. And I went and grabbed my green stripe pad. Decided that that would be the better choice for this carpet. I wanted the additional scrubbing effect. Let's grab something here. So far, that looks like it's working really well. Just flying on the carpet. Okay. A couple of stains there I want to let sit. This is my upholstery cleaner. That's actually what it's called. It's a steam product. It seems to really work quite well actually for certain stains. Oh. Huh. Oh, okay, well there's a fan in here. This carpet, it's a weird carpet. It dries real fast. I can feel the machine binding there. That's why it's suddenly slowed down. I can feel it binding a little bit because it's getting too dry. Alright, this is actually, looks like it's working really well. There was that stain over there that took a little bit of extra effort, and I think it's gone now. Okay. Alright, let's go over here. Doesn't want to move. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I got it out. Oh. Almost. Now we're going to give it a little bit more, and then I'll let it sit. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. I think this carpet's actually going to turn out looking pretty darn good, actually. Yeah, it's cleaning very nice, actually. The steps are going to be a bit of a challenge. There's some pretty nasty stains on the steps, and they're very worn. So I'll be using, I'll be going over them with black brush, and just to give it an additional scrubbing when I do the steps. Okay. I'll go in here. One thing to bear in mind is this method, the SETT method, is quite a bit slower than steam cleaning. You know, the guys with a truck mount, they're going to come in here and they're just going to pre-spray the carpet and put the wand down and start cleaning. About the time it takes for me to just do the pre-vacuuming, which I use the Kirby, by the way, for this one. By the time it takes, you to do the pre-vacuuming, the guy with the truck mount could be finished the whole job. And that's one of the reasons why they can charge a lot less, and why you can't charge the same rate. Well, you could, I guess, but you're going to just spend an awful lot more time. But then again, that's why long ago, as I really got into this, I realized that I would never be able to compete on the basis of price, and the time involved in doing it was definitely going to take longer, so I needed to charge more, sometimes a lot more. But that was one of the reasons why I realized that I had to include everything in the service, because then if it takes me 2 hours to do what a guy with a truck mount can do in 1 hour or less, then I've got to be able to charge more. But I have to justify that, which is why we include sanitizing, deodorizing, and anti-allergen treatment, and a protector. And we have no problem getting these prices from our customers, because most of the customers that we deal with, like, case in point, as this customer said, the last time she had it cleaned, they charged her less, but it didn't clean that great. They didn't get the kind of quality that she was expecting she would get, like when I'd cleaned it for her before. And so when it came to cleaning it this time, she didn't call up the guy that gave her the cheaper price. She called up the guy that gave her the better job, and that was me. And that's how you build your business. Not on the basis of volume, but on the basis of doing the very best you can all the time, and charging what you're worth to do that. And as most of us are owner-operators, you have to have a different business model and a different marketing position than the guy that has the multiple trucks, and he's got employees and overhead like you don't have. And that's the beautiful thing about this method, is we have virtually no overhead. Your equipment is bought and paid for. It can be bought and paid for in the first job you do, actually. Your product that you clean with is very minimal compared to what guys with the truck mounts are using. Your fuel costs are way less. Your repair costs are virtually non-existent, other than, maybe occasionally a plug on the end of your vacuum, or even if you have to replace your rotary every once in a while. You probably will. Isn't that expensive? This rotary, by the way, I think they're around about 3,000 or so in Canada, which might sound shocking to you guys in the US, but actually that's pretty much where rotaries are in Canada now anyway. I think ULM sells a couple of rotaries. There's another couple of places, and they're all about near this price. So, and this is a much superior machine than the other machines out there at similar pricing. But you know, the cost of operating is just so much less with the SETT methodology. So you can take the time, you can do less volume of work in the day, and you will, but at the end of the day you will end up putting more money in your pocket, and that's the thing to bear in mind. You know, it doesn't matter if the I remember years ago being involved in a business where, you know, there was tens of thousands of dollars being made every month, but there was virtually nothing being able to be taken out of the business to actually pay the owners a decent amount of money. There was lots of work going on, lots of money flowing in and flowing out, but profit was profitability was just not there. That was when I was involved in my family business many years ago, and I learned some very valuable lessons from that. And when I started Oxy-Dry 30 years ago, I realized that the answer isn't in simply continually building your business. You have to consolidate, and you have to put money in your pocket. You have to actually make a living at it. I know a guy who owns a whole bunch of hair salons. It's a franchise out of the States, actually. And yeah, myself and another guy, we know this guy, and a few years back, it seemed like every few months the guy was opening up a new spot, a new store, a new shop, or whatever. And I think he owns about 5 or 6 just in the Okanagan Valley alone, and I think he actually owns 1 or 2 in Alberta. And it's like he kept on expanding and expanding and expanding. And of course, he's one of these. It's like one of these ones that advertises a really cheap price. It's all about the cheapest price you can pay, kind of a thing. Coupon advertising. And so he's, you know, in order to make any money at the business, he has to have a high volume all the time. Well, it turns out that some of the stores, in fact most of the stores, lose money, and a couple of those stores that actually are making money are used to subsidize the stores that are losing money. And now he's trying to sell the business, the whole thing, and he's asking some ridiculous price. But anybody that looks at it is going to look at the actual numbers of how much is being actually earned, how much you're putting in your pocket, to determine the value, not just simply what's the amount of dollars that are going through the business. It's the amount of money that, you know, how much is the owner getting paid, and he's actually had to, you know, put lots of his own money into the whole thing to keep it afloat. So I don't know what's going to happen with the guy. I hear bits and pieces from this other friend of mine once in a while. So anyway, point is, focus on what makes you the money, and just keep your just keep focused on what actually earns you money, and don't get distracted by going in too many directions, and don't always be thinking of in terms of expansion, because you never know what tomorrow brings. All of a sudden you could have a serious health issue, and all of a sudden you're stuck with commitments and overhead that you really can't handle. And some of you know exactly what I mean. Anyway, I'm going to go down and do the steps, so I'm going to let you go. Oh, let's have a look at the pad. I'm curious to see how that pad turned out. I'm sure you are too. Oh, actually, I gotta go and do with that spot over there. Oh, let's go over here and take a look. Not too bad. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching and have a good day.